A record number of African migrants are now crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. During one recent week, Border Patrol agents in Texas' Del Rio sector stopped more than 600 African migrants. Most are from the DRC and Cameroon, while others are from Niger, Nigeria, and Somalia. The group is part of a small but increasing proportion of migrants from countries other than Mexico and Central America who slip into the southern United States without authorization. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol say one of the first groups entered the U.S. on May 30th, and that out of 116 people who came across the border, 80 were from Congo, 35 from Angola, and 1 from Cameroon. Now, for more perspective on this situation, VOA reporter Arzouma Kompaore is standing by live in San Antonio, Texas. Good morning, Arzouma.
Good morning, Esther.
Now, I understand some of these African migrants have traveled for weeks and some even for months. What are they telling you?
Well, Esther, they're definitely telling us about that very perilous journey that they took, starting in Brazil and working their way up to Mexico and coming to the borders there, where they actually, have to endure a couple of, frustration all along the way. One of the most deadly part of the journey they're talking about is the Darien Gap, which is really, that's a gap where there's no roads, there's no actual place to go, and they have to go through that with families. Some of them have babies and women that are pregnant, and they have to make sure that everybody gets to the border safely.
Now,
that's what we've been hearing, and now
now, you mentioned that some of them are pregnant women, some are children. How are they coping? What kind of help are they receiving?
Well, we actually heard the story about this. We actually saw her. She arrived on the 5th of June, and the next day she had a C-section, and she had to go to the hospital and have the proper care. And now she's out there in the shelter that the city of San Antonio had to put together to welcome, at least to host those immigrants coming, mostly from, like you said, the DRC, but also from Angola, from Haiti, from Somalia, from Cameroon. And all of them here were able to actually get some help from local organizations like the Catholic Charities and the American Gateways, and also the Interfaith Coalition, who were able to actually make sure that they can get daily food and get a shelter, decent place where they can sleep at night. But all of that is getting busier and busier on the city, who is starting to feel the effect because they were not ready for that. They didn't have everything in place to welcome. They had to improvise a lot of these facilities for those immigrants.
Very quickly, Arzouma, have you spoken to the U.S. Border Patrol officials, and is there any chance at all that these immigrants may get some sort of legal status?
The legal status that they already have, Esther, is that all of them got a notice to appear, which means that they have to be checking with ICE every month while their asylum case is being processed. Well, that gives them, legal residency in the U.S. for the time being. But what is very, what the lawyers, the city is very worried about is to make sure that they understand that this is just the beginning of the process in the United States. A lot of them don't understand that. They feel like they made it to America and that's it. And then the language barrier is also something that they have to face. And that's why, they've launched a call to have more French speakers to come around, especially in the shelter where we're standing at now, to provide some translation so they can explain and make sure that they understand that this is just the beginning, and they have to be checking with the ICE, like I said, to remain legal until their case and the court date.
Well, Arzouma, thank you very much for reporting this for us. That's VOA's Arzouma Kompaore reporting live from San Antonio, Texas.